Free Credit Repair Advice Group. Good evening, Credit TV. My name is Jeremy Deysach, and I am FICO Certified Credit Coach with the Credilife Financial Wellness Company program. I'm also the founder of the Free Credit Repair Advice Group and founder here of Credit TV. Coming at you tonight with another Wednesday night Credit TV Live, our Facebook Live. We always do a Q&A session every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 Eastern, 6 Pacific, or pardon me, 6 Mountain, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. Tonight's topic that we're going to be talking about is collections, what to do, how to handle collection accounts that you may have. Hey, April, good to see you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the room fill up a little bit. I'm actually going to get myself a little liquid energy here. Very good health stuff. It is zero. Anyone who knows that I'm on that diet, it's still working. Been doing that. Oh, hey, Kirsten, Regina, awesome to see you. Thanks for coming in. So tonight we're going to be talking about collections. Marley, good to see you. About collections, what to do when you have them, how to best address collections, both from a credit report standpoint and also from the standpoint of how to best handle them really overall. I know I'm not supposed to drink that, Mark, but you know, what are you gonna do? So really tonight's Q&A is collections. What do I do when I've got these things? Hey Darren, good to see you, welcome. A couple of things I want to tell you here, let me turn my music down a little bit. A couple of things I want to go over really before we start. If you have not yet subscribed to Credit TV on YouTube, please go to Credit TV, C-R-E-D-I-T-V. You can enter that right into Google, C-R-E-D-I-T-V. It'll come up with videos. Our channel has it's got a lot of stuff on it. There are uploads of our Facebook Lives. There are educational videos. There's even the class that I teach in the Minneapolis public school system called Financial Foundations and Credit. And there's all kinds of ongoing educational things about credit, about collections, about your credit report, FICO scores, how to obtain a mortgage, what to do after a bankruptcy. So it's Credit TV. If you have not followed it, we update it frequently. I upload all of our Wednesday Q&As here up to that. And I'm going to ask if one of my moderators would be good enough to drop a link to Credit TV in the comments. That would be super wicked helpful as well. Also, I just wanted to, before we really get rolling, wanted to thank those of you who have already donated, but bring up our Haiti mission. We actually are doing a mission to Haiti. We have, thanks Tiffany for putting that up there, we have our own missionary, actual human live missionary. So we're not sending money, we're sending a person with money in their hands because there's been some difficulty getting the money past the Haitian government to the people who actually need it. So we've got a missionary that we have now actually funded enough money to send them down there. She's going to be educating teachers there on how to better educate the kids, not just in educational things, but in farming, in water, how to purify it, and just things that are going to be useful. Also, the amount that we've been raising over that, we've got a partnership that we've put together with Feed My Starving Children, where for 25 cents, you can actually feed a kid who, this is not feed them, it'll be nice. This is, you're going to feed a starving child who will otherwise die if they do not eat this food. For 25 cents, there's a high nutritional, highly absorbable, and it's good for after you've been starving. I mean, it's something they won't get sick, because if you just fed them a steak or something like that, it would end badly. So it's digestible, high protein, high everything you need to come off of starvation. So for 25 cents, you can feed a kid a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner. I think right now we're at the point where we are able to feed 2,000 children. So our hashtag we like to use with Credilife is changing lives. This is actually saving lives. Literally, these kids are going to die if we don't do this. So just think about it. If you're thinking of getting a Starbucks tomorrow morning and you're going to spend $6 on that, that is 24 lives you could save with food. Tiffany put the GoFundMe link there to donate to. All right, I think I've got that out of the way. Weird, I just ordered a steak. Well, Mark, I want you to make a matching donation to Haiti. All right, here's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about collections. If you've got collections, what do you do? If you've got collections, how do you best handle them? So a lot of people will have collections on their credit profile. They might have their phone ringing. Maybe you've been doing some investigations on your credit profile, and suddenly the phone's ringing, and you're getting all of this information. People calling you saying, "Hey, are you ready to pay on this collection?" And you're thinking, "Wow, did I wake a sleeping giant? When I investigated this information to try to delete it from my credit report, did something happen?" Or maybe I hired Credilife or some other credit restoration firm. Did something they do cause these collection companies to start contacting me? Okay, the answer is no. It is literally a completely unrelated thing. This time of year and all the way up through April 15th, people are pretty singularly focused on taxes. And what you end up with is a lot of people getting tax rebates or tax refunds. Now, while we all want to be a baller for the day when our tax refund check comes, we're not the only ones who know that that's coming. The collection companies, this is their busiest time of year. They know they can call you, they can bug you, they can hold your credit hostage, and they can do this to get some of that tax return money from you. So there's a huge temptation right now to go, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my tax refund. I'm going to pay off all my debt. My debts, my collections, I'm going to be debt free. They're not going to call me. It'll be off my credit. That's great, right? If I pay these things off on my credit, it'll be fantastic, right? Here's the thing, and here's why we're talking about this tonight. I'm going to start off with a misconception. There is a misconception that if you pay off a collection, your score will go up. That is actually a full-on, hold on a second. Alexa, stop. Sorry, I had to turn my music off. There's a misconception that if you pay off a collection that's reporting on your credit report, that your score will go up. That's actually false, okay? If you pay on an older collection, a charge off, something like that, that's reporting negatively on your credit report, you're going to give the reporting a brand new DOLA, a date of last activity on the account. Now, a negative account is a negative account. A paid negative is a negative. A unpaid negative is a negative. A paid negative is just a slightly less negative. So here's what's going to happen. If you pay on that older collection, your score will drop because you'll give a new date of last activity to an already negative account. So here's the situation. You guys are in this group because you want your credit to improve. You want your credit to be better. You want your scores to increase because you've got goals. So I'm going to tell you this. Well, I'm not going to tell you not to pay your bills, because telling someone not to pay their bills is horrific advice and should not be done, and that type of advice should not be followed. But what I'm saying is this, from purely a credit standpoint, while paying on an older collection that's reporting negative to your credit report, while it's a step in the credit development and credit restoration process, it's just not necessarily the first step, okay? So while paying on it, it's a step, it's not the first step. So the big question becomes, well, what is the first step? Okay, the first step to address those collections on your credit report is going to be to send investigation letters to the credit bureaus, to Equifax, to Experian, and to TransUnion. Investigation letters to the credit bureaus. For those of you who are in the free credit repair advice group, if you look on the computer in this corner up here, you'll see the files section. In there we have a sample investigation letter for the bureaus. If you are on a mobile device, what you'll see is the ability to actually swipe over until you get to the files section at the top of the group, and that will also give you an opportunity to get that free sample investigation, free sample dispute template. So what we're doing is we're sending off a letter to Equifax, to Experian, and to TransUnion. And what we're saying to these guys is, in effect, hey, with all due respect, prove it. Prove it's mine, prove it's real, prove that's my account number, prove I was late, prove you own it, prove it's my name, prove whatever it is you want them to prove. And if they cannot verify that information within a prescribed legal time frame set forth under the FCRA, not only the Free Credit Repair Advice Group, but the Fair Credit Reporting Act, if they do not, in accordance with the FCRA, verify in the right time frame and to the satisfaction that's required, that information is deemed unverifiable by the credit bureaus and gone. permanently deleted from your credit profile, like it never happened. Now, it does not mean the debt is gone. This is important to remember. Just because it's deleted from your credit report, it does not mean the debt's gone. If you owe someone $1, you still owe them $1. But their ability to report to the world's largest repository of unverified, unvalidated data, the credit bureaus, they lose that right, and that's very powerful. Now, okay, we have done verification letters. We've gotten it deleted from the credit reports. What now? The next thing we want to do is we want to negotiate a settlement on that debt. So remember, while I said paying on that debt is a step in the process, it's not necessarily the first step. The first step, verify with the bureaus, obtaining deletion. Once it's deleted, you contact the collection agency if they're the ones who currently hold the debt, or the original creditor that's putting it on there, if they're the ones who are holding the debt and reporting it. You contact them and say, hey, what type of deal will you take on something like this? The reason it's important to do that right away after you get it deleted is, on average in America, collection companies hold on to collections from between about 120 to 150 days. They then package them up with other collections that they did not collect on into something called a portfolio. And these portfolios range anywhere from $10,000 to $100 million and everything in between. They're blocks of uncollected debt. And they turn around and they sell it. Maybe they are ABC collections. They sell it over to XYZ collections. Now, XYZ collection can legally turn around and report it to your credit report. So once we've done the verification letter, to Equifax, to Experian, to TransUnion. Once we've got it deleted, we negotiate a settlement. We negotiate as inexpensive a way to get out of that debt as possible. So while paying on the debt, it's a step in the process. It's not necessarily the first step. The first step is verify it with the credit bureaus. Now, I get asked a lot of things as a professional, as a credit industry professional, when it comes to letters, when people are doing it themselves. I would like to tell you, number one, let's talk about certified mail. Certified mail or return receipts, signature cards, and things like that. Professionally, in the 24 years I've been in credit and banking, the hundreds of thousands of reports I've looked at and things like that, I have professionally sent this many certified letters for my clients. And I'll keep a client base of about 1,000 clients at a time. That's something I actually don't normally talk about, which is why it's hard as hell to get a hold of me. Okay, I've sent exactly 0 certified letters to the credit bureaus. Here's why. Number one, if you're sending something hoping for a signature to a post office box, good luck at getting an inanimate post office box to lift up a pen and sign for your letter. Also, it makes no difference. It makes no difference. They're not going to lie. They're not going to say, "Oh, I'm going to foil Jeremy here, and I'm going to say I never got the letter." It's not reality, okay? So you do not need to send it certified. If you want to piss away the extra $6, I want you to go back to that Haiti link and donate it. You will feed 24 children who would die without your help per letter. That's the difference between sending certified and putting a stamp on it. Okay. I've also been asked when it comes to the letters to the credit bureaus, hey, don't you want to handwrite the letters? I heard in a group that you should handwrite these letters. And oh, you know what? I heard that you should write it in blue ink or in red ink or in different ink, or maybe write it sloppy or in a foreign language. I've heard you should use a crayon. I like to joke and say, I think you should write it in blood on the top of a used pizza box. Here's the thing. These people are talking about, they say, oh, the scanner that reads them can't read colored ink. The scanner that reads them can't read color paper. The scanner that reads them can't read handwriting. To that, I just simply say the word wrong. What these people are, bless their hearts, as they say down south, and if you're from the south, you know what that means. What these people in these groups on Facebook that are not run by credit professionals, think about that for a minute. Not run by credit professionals. You're going to take credit advice from non-credit professionals. That's like taking medical advice from a non-medical professional. You know, they may tell you how to do your appendix. You might have a general good idea of how to do it, but you'll probably end up coming out looking like Caitlyn Jenner. Better than having an appendectomy. So anyway, I digress. So here's the deal. All these people think they know how the bureaus work. Bless their hearts, they don't. What they're trying to talk about is a system called eOscar. eOscar is a scanning system and a word registration system that is used to scan your letters, the return addresses, even the postmarks on these letters you send to the credit bureaus, okay? Bad news for all you warriors out there who think you know what you're talking about. eOscar can read all the colors of the rainbow. eOscar can read different colored paper. eOscar can read handwriting. eOscar can even read cursive, okay? If you write, however, so sloppy and illegibly that eOscar can read it, it doesn't mean it'll have to be read by a live human. What will happen is it will be deemed as frivolous. They don't have to legally do the investigation, and you wasted 45 days. So type your letters. It's faster, it's cleaner, you won't get a hand cramp. And remember this, it's not about how you say it, it's about what you say in the letter that makes the difference. So if we pay on a collection that's showing negatively on our credit, our score will drop. So what do? We investigate with the bureaus through a nice written letter that we put a stamp on. We send them off to the bureaus, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Those bureaus receive the letters. They legally have 5 business days to notify the creditors that they must verify all that information. The creditors have 30 calendar days to respond back to TransUnion, back to Experian, and back to Equifax. Now, if they fail to respond in exactly 30 days or less, if they fail to respond at all, or if what they respond with doesn't satisfy the specificity and the minutia of what you've asked, then the information is deemed unverifiable and permanently deleted, gone from the credit report. Doesn't mean the debt's gone. If you owe someone $1, you still owe them $1, but it means your ability to report to the single largest repository of unverified data in the world, the credit bureaus, that goes away. Now, 7 to 10 business days later, the bureaus are going to send you result letters. You will get 3, one Equifax, one Experian, one TransUnion. Regardless of how many accounts you ask about, they consolidate it so it doesn't look like you just got your very own fan club. These letters are going to come to you looking like junk mail. They're going to be plain window envelopes. They may not have the name of Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion even in the return address. They'll just have a P.O. box. They're not junk mail. They're very important mail. They tell you what happened in the round, and that helps direct what you're going to do next. So a round of investigation with legal time frame and mailing time is not 30 days, again, contrary to popular misconception. It's actually 45 days. All right, so that is how to, on the offset, handle a collection that's showing up on your report. I got a lot of questions rocking and rolling in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sway over into some of these questions. This is an opportunity for you to ask your credit questions live, and I'll give you the answer here. All right, here's Cynthia. Thank you for your educational advice. So you're welcome, Cynthia. Thank you for being part of the group. Susan Washburn says, is there a time limit on a cease and desist letter to stop the telephone calls? No, if you send a cease and desist letter like the sample template that's up, if you're on a mobile in the file section here, or if you're on a computer up in the file section there of the group, if you send a cease and desist, the cease and desist letter that I've written, as a paralegal, quite frankly, is very specific. It's cease and desist telephone, electronic communication. It does not cease and desist them on written communication. You don't want to do that. If you cease and desist all communication, they're going to sue you. Why? Because it's the only option they have left because you sent a cease and desist. But no, there is no time limit. You can send it off anytime. They have to stop from then on. Now, once they receive it, once they receive the cease and desist, they're allowed literally one more phone call to technically tell you they got the cease and desist. So they get one-ups. Basically, it's it's being reasonable. Good question. Mark tagged Michael Payne. Amy says, I just want a 700 plus credit score. Stick with the free credit repair advice group. Watch the videos and you'll get there. Jewel says, how often can you dispute a collection? If you're disputing with the bureaus or investigating it with the bureaus, you can do it on average every 45 days. Now, there are 27 different aspects to every account that can be verified and validated and documented. They correspond with 27 different condition codes or dispute codes at the bureaus. You do one per letter, one question per letter. It's like a cross-examination. Hey, is that really my name? Yes, that's really your name. Is the account number right? Yes, it is. Is that the data last activity? So every round, how often do you do it? Every 45 days. Any more than that, Jewel, you'll get considered frivolous and you'll lose your opportunity to verify and validate. Now, I'm going to back it up again. Okay, so we're talking about collections, how to best handle them. I've talked about verifying and validating, or pardon me, verifying with the credit bureaus. Well, what about, I've got Credit Karma, or I've got Credit Check Total, or I'm on their website and I can investigate it online. Why don't I just do that? Won't that be faster? Wrong. No. Never ever verify electronically. That includes text, that includes calling, that includes faxing, but mainly online. If you do that online, you give up a number of your consumer protections. Number one, if the item gets deleted, they are legally, they being the credit bureaus, are legally to re-add it the very next time it gets reported without giving you your due legal notification. So literally, you'll be all excited because you did it online and the thing went away, and guess what's going to happen in March? Congratulations, you just wasted a month and that thing's back on your credit with a new date of last activity. Good for you. The other thing you give up a right to written results. You give up a right to sue them if they do something wrong. So always, always, always use letters. And if you're thinking about electronic, use letters. But if your mortgage guy said to use electronic, use letters. But if your financial planner told you to go electronic, use letters. Because bless their hearts, they don't know what they're talking about. All right, Mark says, interested in hiring a coach? Yeah, if you are looking to hire a professional to do this, we do this professionally. I'm with the Credilife Financial Wellness Program. There is a link there to set an appointment. Marley Pratt says, if you've got 4 to 7 collections, would you send 4 to 7 to the bureaus for each account or include all in one letter to the bureau? Marley, excellent question. If you've got 4 collections or 8 collections or 20 collections on your TransUnion, you put them all on one letter, send it all to TransUnion. Got 16 on Experian, you put them all 16 on there and send it to Experian. Now go ahead and put all of them on there. All you're doing by sending more and more letters is creating extra work and potential confusion, and you don't want to get tagged as frivolous. Great question, though. I love that question. Anna Edwin Melendez says, what if they can prove everything and it doesn't get deleted? What's the next step? Well, the next step is you ask about a different aspect. Maybe you asked about the balance last time. Now you're asking about the account number. After that's the address. After that, it's the chain of ownership. There are 27 different aspects. You could literally do this 27 times, never asking the same question twice. You're not going to do that. That would be psychotic, and it would take 3.5 years. But you get the point. Amy Lynn says, how do you get things taken off your credit report, such as past collections, negative marks, verification letters to the bureaus? That's how you do it. Tawanda White, Victoria says, I don't think Tawanda can see it, Victoria, unless you add her to the group. Janelle says, like I have an old collection on my credit, 5.5-year debt on my credit, and my middle score is currently a 668. Mortgage lender guy told me just that, not to pay it. Oh, you got a good one. He says it's too old, and if I pay it, it'll actually hurt and not help. The guy's on the right track. I'm not totally positive if he knows why, but he is on the right track. Tried to dispute it, it won't go away. Other stuff dropped off. You know what, Janelle? If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. You got 27 at-bats with that thing. Jessica, bless your heart. So vulgar. Yeah, you know what that is. Bless your heart. Let's see. Willie Daniel, bless his hearts from the south. Okay, all right. So you Southerners know what I'm talking about. All right. If I've got 6 collection accounts, do I send 6 letters to each bureau? Is a question that was asked to me by, is it Jomanique? I hope I didn't murder your name, but Jomanique, no, you go ahead and you send 1 letter and put all 6 collections on that letter. Again, we've got a question, Jewel. How often can I dispute an item? Every 45 days. Jeff says multiple collections on 1 letter each or 1 per collection agency. Multiple letters on each when you're dealing with the bureaus. Jewel says, do credit bureaus have to answer each item being disputed? Oh, that's a great question. Or will they answer all the items with 1 letter? Yeah, you're going to send 1 letter with all the things that you're asking about. They're going to send 1 letter with all your answers on it. It's really a super efficient type of communication, because let's face it, if you had 16 things you were asking about and they had to do 16 letters and you had to do 16 letters, everyone's a lot happier just putting them all in one. Excellent question. I'm glad to be getting these questions. TJ said, I'm worried I'd miss their good deal to take off bill for less if I do the verify mail. I'm worried I'd miss their good deal to take off bill for less if I do the verify mail. No, that's not going to interfere. You're doing this to the credit bureaus. The bureaus aren't the ones offering you the money off of the bill. That's done by the collection agency. So yeah, always investigate with those bureaus when it's a collection. Claudette says, I have several closed accounts on my report that I guess are paid. They have a zero balance. Should I send letters to the credit bureau? Claudette, only investigate negative things. So if it's like, let's say we had a Pure One Imports card and you didn't use it for 6 months and they closed it out on you, but you always made your payments on time, things were positive, it's just an old closed account. That's a positive account. Go ahead and leave it. Now, if you've got an old Pure One card that somehow you bought a bunch of those stinky candles and then some wicker furniture and then you never paid it on time and then it closed because it was bad and it's old, yeah, go ahead and investigate that. So we investigate the negatives, the derogatories. We leave alone the past positives because they help build your history. All right, Ron Robinson, or Ronnie, if Equifax removed negatives on my report for roughly 30 days, then put them back on without notifying me, what can I do? If you investigated electronically, the answer is nothing. Samantha said, I'm told it's hard to deal with Amex in-house collections. Why is this? They're pricks. That's literally the official answer. Yeah, it's tough to deal with their in-house collections. Like, they're really nasty FDCPA violators. I would record my phone calls, to be blatantly honest with them. You can download an app, put it on your phone. But yeah, the answer, I believe the official answer is they are pricks. Tiff, Smart Credit. Hey, Tiffany Decker, one of my moderators, just put up a link to our preferred, as of today, credit monitoring site. This is going to get you a tri-merge credit report, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. It'll give you all three bureaus full information. It'll give you the account numbers so you can do your disputes, your investigations. Yeah, it's an awesome service. I even switched my own, for myself and my wife, I switched our credit monitoring over from Identity IQ, which y'all know if you've watched other videos, I swear by it. I love Identity IQ, but bless their hearts, this new one is so much more intense. It's got so many more tools. You can hook your bank accounts to it. There's financial planning tools. It's sick. Yeah, if you're not on Smart Credit right now, you guys make the change. Charlie Bland says, once accounts are no longer reporting, what's the best percentage to start off in negotiating a payment with the collection agencies? Excellent question. I try to start out in the 30 to 40% range, but I don't pick an exact percentage. So when they sit there with a calculator and try to figure out the percent you're being slick and going for, they can't figure it out. I'll say, hey, it looks like I owe you $1,000 on this. Would you take $318.24? And they go, why? You know, they're going, you can hear it in the background. Something you hear the clicking on the calculator. You're like, why 318.24? So, well, because I just got a check for 318.24, and it's all I have. So I can give it to you, or I've got another collection, and you guys have been on there longer, so maybe I thought I should give it to you. Trust me, man, they'll jump at something like that a lot quicker. I start in the 30-40s. 30-40 is a very reasonable, very normal settlement on collections kind of these days. Mark said, yep, don't forget to sign up for the free bi-weekly video newsletter. The Free Credit Repair Advice Group is going to be doing a video newsletter every 2 weeks. Amy Lynn says, how do I get access to all three credit scores? Okay, Amy, I'm going to give you sort of a caveat type of question, meaning I'm giving you the type of answer. I'm giving you the answer, but there's something else to it. Okay, there's a caveat. All right. I recommend that Smart Credit. It'll give you 3 scores. Now, those scores are Vantage scores. It's a different scoring algorithm than the FICO algorithm. Why am I telling you to do that? Because here's the deal. You're never going to get your lending FICO score without applying for lending. Well, what about my FICO? Another group said I should use that for my real FICO. It's not your real FICO score. My FICO was fined significant millions of dollars by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, which is the enforcement arm for the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. They were fined millions of dollars for portraying these FICO scores as people's FICO scores. They're not. They're what we call FACO scores. They say FICO, but they're not your actual lending score. So how do you get it? You apply for credit. So how do you get access to all three? I'm going to tell you this. Don't worry about your score. This is the dirty little secret of credit repair. I don't worry about my client's score. I don't care what score you have. I don't care what score you want. I don't. I care what your goals are. I care where you are today. Because here's the thing. If we get your credit profile in position, and we get the right balance of accounts, we get the right segments all filled in within the FICO algorithm, and we get all the pieces in place, I know your score will simply follow. So while you know, there's no good place to get your scores. There isn't. Right now, I'm recommending for best overall information, I'm doing that Smart Credit. All right, Jessica says, keep saying, bless their hearts. You know what that means? Yep. Jessica knows what that means. When sending out a letter to credit bureaus, if you've got multiple collections, should you be listing a different reason for each, or could each one be verified name? You know, Danielle Noble, good question. They could all be the same reason. They could all be totally different reasons. What I would do is I would look, use something like Smart Credit Look, and see what it says. And if anything kind of stands out to you, like, you know, you're like, man, I know I didn't owe this then, or that date doesn't seem right, or that balance doesn't seem right. You're not going to say verify name if you got your spidey senses are tingling and you're like, that might not be the right balance. You want to ask about balance. So go ahead, use the investigation skills that you've got, and every single one of us does. And if you don't think you have investigation skills, when's the last time you got suspicious of your significant other's text messages and we're trying to see if you can find a way to look in their phone? Yeah, if you've ever done that, you got investigation skills. So go ahead and put the investigation skills to good use. And let's go through our credit reports. Let's look for reasons that might be valid, might be good for questioning those. Great question. Hey, Dominic, you are welcome. Susan says, what are consumer rights when a collector threatens having the police come in and arrest you? Oh, I love those. Those are my favorite. Those are scam calls. Those are going to be used on zombie debt. Those are going to be used on outside of statute of limitations to enforce debt. What are consumers' right when a collector threatens to have the police come and arrest you? Guess what? They're not calling you from their real number. You're never going to be able to bust them back. It's not going to happen. It's not. So I usually encourage them to arrest me. I'll give them my address, say, hey, this is where I work. Oh, you're going to have to come to work. Someone from HR will have to escort me. Fantastic. I'm at Credilife. Send them on down. I'm excited because I'm tired of working and I'd rather lay on a cot and get free meals. So send them, please. Oh, we will. Okay, good. Send them. Oh, we'll have you arrested. Okay, here's the thing. We are not in the year 1815 anymore. We do not have debtor prison in America. They're not coming to take you to jail. Okay, the end. Great question, though. Can you explain what Credilife does for us? Okay, Credilife, we are a financial wellness company. We can actually do the investigations. You'll have FICO certified credit repair professionals who will do the investigations. We also put together a credit builder blueprint, which is a trademarked workbook. They're custom printed one at a time based on the information within your credit file and based on the credit audit that's done by your coach, giving you specific step-by-step instructions specific to your goals and your credit situation to get your score and profile in position to achieve all those goals in the fastest way possible. We also work on debt reduction strategies, budgeting, coaching throughout the whole thing. It's sick. It is real intensive. If you want to know more about Credilife, go to www.yourcreditlife.com. That's yourcreditlife.com. And if you're interested in possibly looking into utilizing one of our services, go ahead and click on a link for an initial consultation with one of our credit coaches. Thanks, Cynthia. Kind of give you a commercial there. It is Spam Wednesday, so hey, we got that going for us. Patricia, can you dispute multiple types of issues on one letter, or a separate dispute for collections, separate for inquiries? You can put the whole thing on one letter. Here's the thing: don't bother disputing inquiries. Inquiries only make up 10% of your score. And they don't even make up the full 10. They make up a section that makes up 10% of your score. Inquiries stay on your credit report for 2 years. They only impact your score for 12 months. And you are allowed unlimited mortgage or unlimited automotive or unlimited student loan inquiries within a 30-day period. Okay, it's a shopping window. It's actually called anti-duo duping, which is just shopping window. You'll remember shopping window much more than probably anti-duo, whatever Jeremy was talking about. So 15 days following the end of the 30-day period, the FICO algorithm will consider them one Equifax, one Experian, one TransUnion. This allows that car dealer to shotgun your credit out to 200 different places without tanking your credit score, so they can actually get you the best deal. So if let's say I've got a name issue that's bothering me on my credit, they got my date of birth wrong, and then there's a collection, and then maybe there's a late on an account that I got open that I want to investigate because I don't think I was late that month, and maybe I do have one inquiry I want to get rid of. I'd put that all on one letter. So hopefully that answers your question. Can you get them to redo a mark? Calais says. I don't know what a mark is. Can you, if you could explain a little bit more what you're talking about, I'd love it. Michelle Alexander says, if I disputed online through Credit Karma over a year ago. Can I redispute? Yeah, and if they come back and say you can't or some BS like that, tell them you got some wonderful party gifts for them. But don't do it through Credit Karma. If you do it through Credit Karma, you give up all your rights. Ashley says, what about late payments? If you verify them, if they verify them, can you ask for goodwill to remove? Yeah, here, goodwill letters usually don't work, but there's no harm in trying for a stamp and taking a minute to write the letter. Goodwill letters, there's usually not a lot of goodwill to be had if you didn't do the basic obligation that you had signed up to do, which was pay the debt back on time. So here's the thing, you can use them in tandem. Goodwill letters are more if you had a 30-day late on an account a year ago, okay, and you've made every payment on time since then, and maybe you had a medical thing and a sob story that they'll go for, and guess what? They've got no obligation to do it. Half of them make it to the circular file, but there's nothing wrong with doing a goodwill letter. It's put it like this, it'll never harm you. Can we get late marks off credit? Yes, absolutely. Every single thing on your credit report, be it a late payment, be it an inquiry, be it a whole account, be it a bankruptcy, be it child support, a collection, be it a lease, anything. Everything is at the mercy of being able to verify within the confines of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA. So you can get anything off your credit if it's found to be unverifiable. All right, what does Patrice have to say? Patrice says, what if you've got a credit card from a company and they have two accounts, one that's closed? I have Sync card in good standing, but they have a closed one for me too with a zero balance. Well, if it's got a zero balance and there's nothing negative, Patrice, I wouldn't. I mean, if you want to work on getting rid of it, go ahead. But if it's a past positive, go ahead and leave it. Tiffany Anderson says, what about pay for delete letters? I was told to send a check and letter to the collection company. Right in the memo section, cashing means you'll delete the account. Does that work? In the magical land of make-believe, that works. Yeah, that doesn't work. If you send them a check, you've made payment, giving a new date of last activity. They can take the check and you can write, okay, to troll my father back in college, my dad made me a loan. And I would write something different in the memo section every week because this was before you could take a picture of a check and deposits. So he had to actually take it to M&I Bank down there in Milwaukee. So I'd write for sensual massage or for sexual favors or things like that. Now, it didn't mean that my dad actually gave me a sensual massage. Those types of conditional endorsements are nonsense, okay? So pay for delete letters, if you send a pay for delete letter, honestly, the letter and the check will probably end up in the garbage because they literally throw that out. Totally different zone. What you want to do if you're looking to negotiate a pay for deletion is you want to call them on the telephone. Because here's the thing. They will not typically put paying for delete in writing because it violates the collection company's contract with the credit reporting agency. Meaning if they do that, they can be dropped and they don't have a way to report to credit. They give far less care about the $300 they're going to get from you than they do about having to try to find a new collection. Or pardon me, a new place to report their collections. So yeah, do not send pay for delete letters. Anyone who's telling you that does not know what they're talking about. They are not a credit professional. Great question. There's a link, Tiffany, for Smart Credit. Can we get school loans off? Absolutely, Kelly. Anything is at the mercy of verifying. Follow up, will Amex do a pay for delete? Samantha asks. I've never seen them do one. But I've only been in credit and banking 24 years, and I've looked at hundreds of thousands of credit reports. So yeah, no, they're not really good about that. I would, if it's that bad, I'd do the verification. If you get like 4 or 5 rounds in with Amex and it's not working, settle with Amex. This is specifically for you, Samantha. Settle with Amex. Get their skin out of the game. Take away their reason to verify and validate, and then try to do investigation letters. That'd be your best strategy with someone that's sticky. Mark's put up a link for the express audit. Yeah, if you would like a professional express audit of your credit report that gets emailed to you in a PDF format, it's a breakdown of everything that's on there, what needs to be addressed to look at, along with a 20-minute coaching call from a FICO certified credit coach. That link can get you one. They're $39.99. The coaching call itself, if you buy a coaching call by itself for a 20-minute coaching call, it's $50 a la carte. So you literally save $10 off the coaching call and get the express audit. That's like a sick deal on that link. Jewel says, can you explain the verify personal info method? with the credit bureau. Well, that's not a method. If you're talking about the fact that people say, oh, get rid of all old names and addresses, that's no, just no. What you want to do is you want to say, verify that this collection belongs to me. If they come back with your name, congratulations, you just blew that. I go for something a little bit more difficult. Ronnie says, on my earlier question about Equifax removals, I disputed nothing electronically. They removed almost everything, positives and negatives inquiries. They basically wiped my report. Yeah, that's Equifax. They've been having lots of problems. You can go back sometimes with a letter saying, look, you did not, okay, this is getting a little complex, and you're getting to the area where you might want to pro, but you can go back to them. They're supposed to give you a 5-day written notification that they're going to re-add it to your credit report in conjunction with the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So if they did not give that to you, you can kind of follow up, give them a letter saying, hey, I had done investigations, you removed this. You followed up by putting it back on without giving me the required notifications under the FCRA. As you know, that's a violation of my rights in the law. I demand you remove these things immediately, or I will follow up with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, all reporting agencies, and look into potential civil liability. That's what you want to say in your letter. Charlie Bland says, thanks, I'm glad you said 30 to 40%. That's pretty much close to what I budgeted for. Yeah, that's, if you hear someone use the term pennies on the dollar, you have my permission officially to slap them in the face. Everyone, slap the next person you hear say pennies on the dollar for any reason in the face. Number one, I hate that phrase. Number two, it's wholly inaccurate. That's not what collection companies buy collections for. They buy them for, like, if they're taking 30% on it, they bought the sucker for 20%. They're only getting a margin. They're not making the kind of money you think. So yes. So yeah, that's within your budget. Try low. It's never hurt you to try low. Don't be obscure and silly so they blow you off. But try low. And if someone says penny on the dollar, you've got Jeremy Deysach from Credilife's permission to slap them in the face. And if you ever say that for legal purposes, I will deny it. And this video is an act of fiction. Reggie Van says, I paid off my truck a year ago. You're probably ahead of 30-day late. How's it impacting? It's a couple years old. It's not having the impact, Reggie, it used to have, but it's still worth investigating. I would investigate and say, hey, you burden of proof, burden of proof, burden of proof. It's on you guys. You're not to go all Johnny Cochran. If you can't prove it, you got to remove it. And since their skin has already been taken out of the game and they've got no reason to do a bunch of work for free, it may be in your best interest to send a letter on that. Mark says, most of the time when focusing on a score, look at the bare minimum to get your goal. Shoot for profile wellness. That is an awesome piece of advice, man. Beautiful. Ashley says, my student loan rehab is in review right now, about to be transferred to a new servicer. Should I send the investigation letters? Okay, since years of non-payment. Okay, here's the deal. Ashley, if you're looking to consolidate your student loans, go through a rehab program on your student loans, go into an income-based repayment program on your student loans, do not investigate them until you're done with it, okay? I repeat, if you're working on student loans and you're looking to refi them, consolidate them, rehab them, rehabilitate, or go into an income-based repayment program or even student loan forgiveness program if you are a teacher or in the public sector, do not investigate them. It causes you problems. Wait until it's done. Otherwise, if you're not looking to do any of those things, go ahead and investigate. Arrest you. Yes, arrest. I tell people to arrest me because yeah, I hear it's a lot easier in jail. Tabitha said, at least that's what they showed on that show Oz. Do pay and delete letters work? Tabitha, not normally. Natalie said, should you also verify and validate collections that are not on your credit yet? No. Or just try to reach a settlement with who, the collector, the actual creditor. Always settle it with whoever's got it. Guess what? If a collector's got it, that's who you're supposed to be talking to. That's just how it works. Good question. Calais says, how can I get my student loans removed? Verify. If you're not doing anything special with them. Is opened on collections actually the date it was opened or the date it took over the account? Hate to give you this answer, Regina. It depends. People are woefully inadequate at consistently reporting, so I've seen both. Tiff just put up a link to your Credilife.com, so if you're interested in retaining the professional services of one of the FICO certified coaches of Credilife Financial Wellness Program, that's how you do it. Mo says, how do you handle student loans that were recently paid in collections after calling to make a payment and they tell you your balance is only $100? So if it's $100, just pay the damn thing. Take their skin out of the game, verify and validate. That would be my, if I understood you right, that's what I would do. How can bankruptcy be removed? Bankruptcy is at the same mercy as any other mark on your credit to verify within the right time frame. Paris says, I have a closed account for a voluntary repo. When they first reported it, it was over 10 grand. Now it's only gone down over the last couple of months. 1 month, the balance went down to 8,000, and now it went down to 6,000. I don't understand why it's going down. Yeah, that's a bucket of odd, Paris. Without looking at a credit report and seeing what's reporting and how it's reporting, doing an audit, it'd be tough to tell you why that's happening. But, you know, I don't know. Let's hold our breath and see if it goes to zero. Don Marie Evans says, account on report states charge often sold. How do I find out where it went? Call the original creditor, or call, like let's say it was a Target card and you didn't pay, and the red card and all that good stuff, and it gets charged off and sold. You can call them. They got to tell you where it went. Sometimes you're going to get someone in a call center who doesn't know what they're doing, so it's really not their fault. They're probably just stupid. Bless their hearts. Holly says, how does rental credit checks affect your credit? Does it work the same as car loans, only count as one? No. No, it doesn't. So it depends how they code it, but typically rental background checks don't. Some rental background check companies, though, do actually do a soft inquiry. So it's hard to tell without a crystal ball what they're going to do to you. Sorry about that, Holly. But that's the answer. Kelly says, late mark due to late payment. Yeah, everything's at the mercy of verifying. Mark says, what activities reset the date of last activity? Disputing online, letters, phone calls. A lot of things can change up the date of last activity on the report. Paying any money can do it. If you accidentally validate the debt to them, that can do it. If you reaffirm it, that can do it. Those will all update dates of last activity. Tabitha says, so are you saying I can go to multiple dealerships in a 30-day window and the inquiries won't hurt my score? Oh, it's going to look like crap for just a little while, but then 15 days following the end of the 30, yeah, it's going to hurt as badly as if you had literally done one Equifax, one Experian, one TransUnion, because that's how the FICO algorithm is going to count it with anti-duo doping. It's pretty sick, Tabitha. It's cool. Brittany says, if disputing the same collection, how is it possible for Experian to delete it from a credit report, but Equifax to update it? You know, there are 3 bureaus, 3 completely different systems. They interpret data completely different. That's how it happens. Calais says, I tried, and they said we have to report late charges as it happened. Any loop? Okay. I'm not totally positive what you mean. Is there any way to get school loan up? Again, same thing. Verify the info. Susan Smith Sweeney says, what should I expect to see from a verification or validation? How do I know they provide me back the right info? Well, here's the thing. If you demand verification to the bureaus, you're not doing the investigation. They are. They're the ones who make the determination if it was adequate or not, and they're going to tell the truth. That's the answer. Maria says, I hate Lexington law. They send letters to a closed account, and the account's opened again. Oh, man. Yeah, we don't do things like that, man. That's where the difference between somebody who's going to go through and actually do things like sit down and talk to you about your goals and make a comprehensive plan and know that opening old wounds isn't usually a really good thing. That's where that's going to come in real handy. But yeah, I would love to have you on board. All right. Jewel said, I did mine online. Dispute wrong. I can't wait 45 days. Just wait 45 days. Kind of hit the reset button. You'll be better off. Clay says, I don't know how the school loan's off. Yeah, okay. Trying to eliminate a charge off on my husband's credit. It was from Capital One. This was opened due to ID theft. We've gotten a police report. Proven to them it was never his. And all they just sell to third parties. Okay, what you got to do, Christina, you're going to want to go into the files section and you're going to want to get together your police report, and I've got a Federal Trade Commission fraud affidavit up there. You need to send that to all 3 bureaus and send it to Capital One. Now, if Capital One resells it, then you're going to want to lawyer up because you may have some money coming. Benjamin says, if Experian and Equifax have different date the account's open, do you send them a copy of both credit reports? No, they don't give 2 craps about what the other one says. Let's see. Regina says, when I call to make a settlement, should I remind them we're on a recorded line? No, they'll remind you. Don't wait here. Okay. I take that back. Every state has its own laws. Check your own state laws if you're thinking of recording phone calls. That's probably the best way to put it. Tiffany Decker put up our appointment core link. That is for you to schedule a consult with a FICO certified credit coach. Remy says, Jeremy, we get just as many charge-off questions in the group. Okay, charge-off versus collections, any difference in hand? Yeah, a charge-off is a collection. Basically, it's an accounting tactic. If they charged it off, the sucker's going into collections. A charge-off's different than a write-off, okay? A write-off is where they send you a 1099 MISC, MISC, at the end of the year. It's a tax form, which actually shows what they wrote off as income. You don't owe that. If they charge off, you owe that. I hope that answered it. That's like literally a whole topic for a whole video. Jeremy, you should work as someone at an auction. You talk so fast sometimes. I do. Sandria, my cousin had a repo last year and got a letter for 3 options, pay to settle. 1 lump sum, $3,000 monthly, 6 for 6 months. 1 is 5. What should they do? I don't know. I don't know how much they owe. But you know, here's the deal. I wouldn't take any of those options. I'd make my own deal and call them up with it. Anna says, are you saying about the having collection company getting the debt deleted from credit bureau? You said call on the phone, but how do you make that agreement? Wait till it's off, then pay? Or no. Here, if you're looking for a pay for delete, you have to pay before they'll delete. You make the deal to pay to delete on the phone. If you're talking about negotiating a settlement after you've got it deleted from the credit report, then you're negotiating the settlement right there on the phone. Hope that answered that for you. Shenanigans, Mark. Alvin says, I've gotten 2 fraud letters from TransUnion and Equifax. My account is locked. Oh, there's a mess for you. That's longer than a conversation we can have here during a live. I'd say make a thread about it so we can address it for you. German Hernandez says, I have 3 things in collection. Should I pay it in full? Well, it depends on your goal. If you're looking to get it off your credit, paying it's going to drop your credit score. Social worker loan forgiveness. I want my student loans gone. Guess what? If you screw with them now while you're on loan forgiveness, you're going to blow that. Don't do it. How much postage does it cost to mail a pizza box letter to the collectors? My understanding from the post office is $13.40. And I'm actually not kidding. I'll get into it sometime as well. All right, Cynthia says, so if accounts are verified through the credit bureaus, what do you do? Send another letter to verify something else? Yes, you can do it 27 times. Never ask the same question twice. Ashley says, I just consolidated my student loans. I was getting ready to validate lates until what you said. If you just is the consolidation done and in play? If the consolidation is done and in play, Ashley, go ahead and mess with the credit report. If it's not done and in play, do all your other stuff on the credit report. Just leave those be until you're ready. Mizzle stacks up. All right, I did the 609 on all my collections, and all I got was my late start for the companies that they had, nothing with my signature. You're never going to get your signature. That whole wet signature thing is a pile of bullcrap. Let's see what else. Don't focus on removing bankruptcy. Verify and validate the accounts. That is a very good point, Mark. If you're worried about bankruptcy, it's not the bankruptcy that's hurting your score. It's the stuff that went into the bankruptcy. Grant says, I have a repo from 2012. It's not in collection. Can I still dispute it? Sure. Statute of limitations is 3 years. On what? On the collection of your debt or on reporting? Statute of limitations report is 7.5 years from the date of last activity. Samantha says, here I go again with Amex. I'm trying to sell my home, then purchase another one. Should I just pay Amex collections? Only if underwriting makes you. All right. Mo Travel says, a few weeks ago, Sally Mae, said my balance was $100. Today I got it saying it was sent to collections. How would I handle it on the credit report? It was only about 120 days late. Well, that's not only, man, 120 days late. That's because you get 30 days to pay. That's actually 5 months later than you promised to pay it. There's no only about that. Just heads up. But Sally Mae said the balance was 100. Got a letter from collections. How much is collections saying, yo? Benjamin says, what if the debt collector doesn't know who the original creditor is? Then not a whole lot you can do about that, really. Willie Daniel, when dealing with collection accounts and the original creditor and the collection agency both are reporting it, the OC automatically will follow the collection agency when you get the account? No, no one will automatically follow anything, unfortunately. You'll probably still have to verify and validate both of them when you're done, Willie. German says, if student loans were removed from Equifax, shouldn't they be removed from Experian and TransUnion? That'd be nice, but that's not how it works. It's 3 separate bureaus. They do not interlink. I did 609 all my collections. They only sent me the last statement from the companies. Yeah, that's typically what you get. I would send back and say that's not validation. I would send back and say I'm looking for the agreement between me and the company. But if you think you're going to get wet ink or any of those other fictions out there, you're not going to. Ronnie said, should I pay my credit cards off and then start my 1 to 3 on something small on Netflix? Or should I pay it down to 1 to 3? Ronnie, you are a client. I'm going to say talk to your coach. Cheryl, because it's going to depend on your specific goals. It's not just a blow. It's not a blow off or anything like that. It's you may have different paths based on what's going on. Cheryl said, I have a collection of Transworld systems for 2 Gs, just over a year old. Should I offer them 6 tax return? Would it be deleted if I pay them? Should I just tell them to take a hike? Tell them to take a hike, they'll sue you. So yeah, that's a bad idea. What I would do is call them, see if they'll do a pay for delete. If they won't do a pay for delete, do investigations with the bureau, see if you can get it deleted. Then see if they'll settle. That's what I would do. Smart way to build credit, self-lender. Amen, Mark. Great way to build credit. Yep. We're going to be 2-party consent for your state recording laws. That's perfect. Here we go. Accounts listed as a profit and loss write-off. What's that mean? Should it still report? Yeah, it'll report because it's a record of an accurate thing that took place. But you don't owe them if they profit and lost it off. They'd send you a 1099 MISC. Does calling and asking for a pay for delete reset the DOLA? No, it does not. You're welcome, Ashley. How can you sign up to help with the credit? Kelly says, use the link in the group here that in the chat to Tiffany, I think, has put up to go ahead and schedule an initial consultation with one of the credit coaches. We go through, we talk about your whole situation, figure out your goals, figure out the best path, and match you up to a program that would make the most sense for you, and we can rock and roll from there. Transworld actually sent you a picture of your signature. Oh, yeah, that's validation like crazy. Yeah, that's pretty good validation. You don't get that very often. Good for Transworld. I'd settle it. Did you say, oh, please go back and watch this video all the way again, Tabitha? All right, if you pay on a score, or if you pay on a collection that's sitting on your credit report, your score will drop. The reason being, you're going to add a brand new date of last activity to an already negative account. So while I'm not telling you not to pay your bills, what I'm telling you is, from strictly a credit scoring and credit development perspective, while paying on a collection, it's a step in the process. It's not necessarily the first step. The first step is to investigate the data with the credit bureaus. So there you go, Tabitha. That's my spiel. What would be the best credit card to get to help my score? I currently have 2 collections, no credit cards or anything. We have a list of recommended ones. What I want you to do is I want you to go into the group, Free Credit Repair Advice group. I want you to go to the Files section, and I want you to read the document in there called Pro Tip. P-R-O-T-I-P. It's going to give you step-by-step instructions on a self-led development. Everything you need to know is going to be right there. Venetia says, okay, if I got a 700 plus credit score and I make less than 50 a year, does that have a major effect on my total I can get mortgage for? Well, those are 2 separate things, quite really. You get approved on score for qualifying, and you get approved on income for how much house you get to buy. So you're going to want to talk to a mortgage loan officer to figure out exactly what your goal is and line it up there. I also hear it's hard to deal with Credit One, Samantha says. LVNV is the collector on this. Any hope there? Oh yeah, LVNV, they're good with settlements. Let's see. Ronnie says Eagles won the Super Bowl, beat the Patriots. I want to hear you say it. Tell everyone. I don't know. I was rooting for Brett Favre. All right, Tiffany put up the link to schedule a consult. Diana says, so it would be a good idea to call the collection first and see if we can get a pay for delete. Yeah, sure. I wouldn't do a 609 next. I would do investigation letters to the bureaus next. All right. Interested, please contact me. We don't contact you. contact us, please. If you want to get a hold of us, James, everything we do is by appointment only. So click on that appointment core link that Tiffany put, and we'll be able to schedule you, or actually you'll be able to schedule a time. April Potter Brunskill says, if a debt collector is garnishing your paycheck, does it drop your score? The paycheck thing, no. The judgment and the nasty credit thing that they use to get it, yeah, that hurts you. When TJ says, when you call to settle to delete, you need to get it in writing. They usually won't put it in writing because it violates their agreement with the credit bureaus. But if they say they're going to do it, and if they give you the whole mini Miranda telling you you're on a recorded line, those are subpoenable and are able to be subpoenaed in court. So they're not going to mess with it on that. If they say they're going to do it, they're going to do it. Brett Favre, time machine. Oh, Brett, I always root for Brett Favre. Thanks for everything. You've been helping change people's life for the positive. Hey, thanks, Jeff, for being a member. I tell you what, this thing, I always say this group, when we do this stuff, do these lives, it's like going to church. It is. We get a lot out of helping people here. Brett Favre did have a meeting and pep talk with the Eagles. See? Who won? There you go, Brett Favre. Have I ever heard of an 809? Nope. My guess is it would be referencing Section 809 of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Hold on one second. Let's find out what that is. Let me reference it through my docs. The FCRA. And 809 says that a copy of a judgment will be mailed to you per your request. So there you go. April says we'll be setting up a consult soon. Sounds great. Okay. Hey, thanks, Maurice. It's great to have you here. And you guys, those of you who have not subscribed to Credit TV, CREDI TV on YouTube, man, you're missing out. We've got all our Facebook Lives we put on there. We've got the class I teach in Minneapolis with our newest credit coach, Dan, who used to be in the mortgage industry. I teach financial foundations and credit there. We've got informational videos. We've got how to pay off debt, revolving debt, cascading versus snowballing. I tell you what, that one's worth watching because if you've never seen a frozen waterfall, you can do that. But yeah, if you have not yet subscribed to Credit TV, CREDI TV on YouTube, please do so. And give us a thumbs up and a like and comments if you guys like the videos. Also, if you have not yet donated to our Haiti mission, we're sending our own missionary down there. Every 25 cents you donate feeds a kid a breakfast, lunch, and dinner of this high nutrition, high protein food that basically, I don't know what the best way to say it is, makes them not die that day, I guess is the best way to say it. When do you use the new 611 letter, Tiffany? That's going to be a whole separate, video on its own. The 611. Okay, we got links for the YouTube channel. If someone would throw up a link for the Haiti mission, that would be awesome. So if you guys have not given yet, please give, please give, please give, please give. Last things, Tabitha says, I'm checking out the pro tip file. Awesome. For collections, got an old address I no longer reside at. Is that a good dispute? It can be, but there's usually stronger things. Go for dates of last activity, account numbers, and things like that. Balances, you'll have much better footing. Monica says, I got a credit card. It was just closed due to non-payment. It is still accruing interest, late payments. Should I be investigating with the Bureau first, or at least pay the minimum? Try and negotiate the remaining balance. Yeah, I pay the minimum, negotiate. I do it all. Literally everything you just said, I do it at the exact same time. So yeah, okay, Tiffany just put the link to the Haiti mission trip. We are sending my daughter. Nothing scares the crap out of me more than actually sending my daughter into a really nasty part of Haiti. But I couldn't stop her if I chained her to a tank and tried to drive the tank the other direction. So we're going to support her. So we are sending our own missionary to Haiti. She is going to be teaching. She is going to be bringing fresh water. She is going to be bringing food and clothing. She is literally, all the clothing she's taking down to wear, she's leaving behind. Well, not all of it, because she'd come back butt-ass naked, and then I'd have to have a conversation with my daughter. But other than that, the stuff she'll be wearing, she's leaving that all. You get it. So anyway, I want y'all to remember, we've got a partnership with this with Feed My Starving Children. 25 cents saves a kid's life and feeds them for a day. We've already set up so that we're going to be feeding 2,000 kids for a day, or one kid for 2,000 days, but we're going to try to spread it around, I think. So donate, donate, donate. Remember that $6 Starbucks you're thinking about getting in the morning would feed 24 children. We're not just changing lives, we're saving lives there. So it's going to make the fact that you're not sure whether you want to get soy milk or almond milk or skim milk, you know, it becomes a lot less important when you could cause 24 kids not to die tomorrow with what you were going to drink in coffee. Sorry to throw that last minute guilt trip on you, but that's, yeah, I'm Catholic. That's how we do these things. All right, guys. So for Credilife, for the free credit repair advice group for Credit TV, I am Jeremy Deysach, FICO certified credit coach. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We are here every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific, and 8 p.m. Eastern on our Facebook Live. Thanks a lot.